if you were 20 years old today and you wanted to start a new company, drop out of Harvard, what company or what area would you want to start it in?
Well, this is a great time to be doing innovation because the tools of innovation are so much better. There are lots of things in biology that are very interesting. There are lots of things in energy that are interesting. Given my background, I would start an AI company that whose goal would be to teach computers how to read so that they can absorb and understand all the written knowledge of the world. That's an area where AI has yet to make progress, and it will be quite profound when we achieve that goal.
So are you worried about the power of AI to disrupt our civilization and put people out of work, those kind of things?
The increased productivity that will come from AI will create dilemmas about what should people do with that extra time. And you've got to consider that a good thing, even though it will be an interesting set of adjustments that have to take place.
You assessed the two most urgent issues were K-12 in the United States and health in the less developed areas. How did you pick those two? Any regrets about picking those two? And have you made progress on either of those two?
Well, global health is our biggest area, and there the progress has been really unbelievable, not just because of our work, but our partners that include the US government spending on PEPFAR, the European donors who've really stepped up on these health issues. One of the metrics of importance is the number of children in the world who die before the age of 5. When we got started in the year 2000, that was over 10 million a year. Now it's about 5 million a year. And so, it's just mind-blowing, and people aren't that as aware of it as you'd like them to be. Those deaths, because of getting out vaccines and understanding a bit more about nutrition, those deaths have been cut in half. Now the goal is to cut them in half again by 2030. Our US education work, that is not just K through 12, it includes higher ed as well. There, the key metrics, dropout rates, math and verbal achievement, those metrics have moved essentially not at all. And even as the US is spending more resources on education, we spend by far more than any country in the world, and yet our results are quite a bit worse than almost all the other rich countries, and even some middle-income countries. Even Vietnam now is passing us in terms of their math results. So the field as a whole and our work has not had the impact we hoped for.
So today, people come to you all the time for money, I assume. Everywhere you go, people say, by the way, I have this thing you should invest in. I have a couple myself I'll mention later. No, I'm just kidding. No, a couple of things you should invest in or things you should give money to. So how do you resist it? You have some person who says no for you? Or how do you do that?
Many people.
Many people say no.
Well, once you've picked what you care about, if somebody has something that can make a difference in global health, we're super interested. And we have staff of 1,500 people, and if it's to do with global health, some of those people will come out and talk through with you whatever your innovation is and how we can partner with you on that. Okay. So that's clearly in our area. If it is something that can substantially improve K through 12 education, then we're going to be very interested in it. If people are asking outside of those things, then fortunately you can say no, because focus is key to philanthropy.
So people have recognized over the years that raising children is difficult. Jackie Kennedy famously said, if you mess up raising your children, nothing else matters. You have 3 children, seem to be well adjusted, and you've kept them out of the newspapers and so forth. How do you avoid spoiling kids like that?
I think that's a huge problem. Obviously, our kids have benefited from having a great education and an opportunity to travel, and so they're very lucky in that sense. Making sure that the visibility or the way people treat them is not unnatural. There's some challenges that come with that. So far, they've handled it well. Melinda is the one who deserves any, or certainly almost all the credit for the kids so far doing very well. Our kids, we've said to them that the money is going to the foundation, and so they don't think of themselves as sort of aristocratic.
But what do they say when you
inheritors.
tell them that? They say, "Can you give me a little bit or something?" Or they don't ask for some?
They'll get a little bit,
How much money has your foundation given away to date?
about $40 billion.
40 billion.
Yeah, we're now up to giving $6 billion a year.
So finally, if people are watching now and they say, all right, I want to do something about climate change, but I'm just one person, I don't have the resources that Bill Gates has. What can any average person do to have some impact on climate change in your view?
Well, certainly they can take things like these new meat products or how they buy electricity, and they can help drive up the scale of the green solutions. The most important thing at this stage is their political voice. There's going to be a need to put substantial resources into this effort. And we'll need a bipartisan solution. And to send the right signal to the market, you actually don't, if you just win one year and then it gets repealed, that doesn't help at all. The key is what people see the policies will be over the next 30 years on a consistent basis. And that means it's a much higher bar than just a one-time victory.